Hello guys, and welcome back. This is Celestial Universe coming to you now to explain further about Durango Park. Now, remember last video I made, we talked about what Durango Park was going to be. It's going to be a themed, Western themed type park, amusement park that's going to have a lot of attractions. So in the last video we talked about was pretty much the concept behind what Durango Park is going to be like, what theme we're working for, you know, the complications behind it, the pros and cons, and the divisions in the park that kind of organize things together into pieces. And as I was thinking about that, after I did the video, I kind of was thinking, you know, it's really quite interesting how I'm thinking this in my head, and I'm discussing this with you, because when you look at theme parks today, you kind of actually see that. And I really didn't notice it at first until I actually did some research on Disney World, Disneyland, and all those sorts. I saw that there was different sections of the park that are designated to different sub-themes. Now, I call them sub-themes because we already have a theme working order as it is. So sub-themes would be something of another theme within its own theme itself. So a sub-theme would be like farming and ranching, a theme within the Western world, or, you know, lumber and mining, or on and on and on. So these sub-themes actually do exist in amusement parks, but they're far more complex than what we're working on here. Now, before, again, as I told you, I kind of showed you a little layout of the land about what I was working on and where the rides are at and everything else. And I kind of did some, changes, and as you can see, there's nothing here anymore. And there's a reason for that, because I want to make more space for amplifying these sub-themes. As I was doing that too, I added a few extra buildings here. I wanted to create like a little place where people can kind of rest and relax. This is kind of half-built. It's going to be a steakhouse. Everybody's got to have a steakhouse. I mean, especially in a Western themed amusement park. Why not, right? And this is going to go all the way down. Now here, I wanted to show you real quick. And I'll explain this later in more detail, but this area right here is going to be more like an entrance to this sub-theme area. So, but just keep that in mind as I'm keeping this area open. There's really not going to be here for a long time. But to continue on a discussion about what this sub-theme is going to be like, it's going to be centered around the mining and lumbering theme. Now, why is that important? I mean, does it even associate with Western theme? Of course it does. See, when you think about the 1800s and early 1900s, people were in a gold rush in some parts of the country, even parts of the world. So this kind of thing actually did exist. And why not? Because people were out there to stake claims and to create industry that were actually booming at that time. So I thought it was fitting to create something that reflects that. And the central part of the park where that roller coaster is, called Cobra Canyon, which is funny how these buildings are right in front of it, really demonstrates that impact. Like, this whole thing right here is just basically a mining facility, okay? And so we're going to add some extra stuff to this. Here's that mine right I was telling you about. That adds to that flair. But we're going to add some more stuff to this to kind of give it more of an edge of that theme, that sub-theme. So I have a list. I kind of sat down and devised a list of the kind of rides and attractions that I would like to have in this sub-theme. We've already established about Cobra Canyon, the wooden coaster that's in the middle of the hills there. It kind of reflects a mining ride. We have Mine Drop, which is what I showed you there. But we have Old Timber. Now, Old Timber, I kind of tore down. I really had a mixed feeling about this, and the reason for that is because it just seemed out of place, and the style was very bizarre. I looked up some ideas for some log flumes, and they didn't even come close even to something that I would ever have in an amusement park, really. But the log flume does exist. I mean, after all, it's part of a lumbering association, so why not keep it? Why not redesign it? I did save it, though. I didn't waste it. I didn't tear it down and leave it at edge length. I did save it and everything associated with it. So it's not in oblivion. It's still there. We have the powder keg. Now, the powder keg is that rotary device that I was telling you about that looks like a dynamite barrel. Okay, that's going to be in there. And me and a friend of mine were brainstorming some of these ideas. The Mine Train Express. Now this is really going to be a big deal because you see where this hill was. I showed you. I didn't get there. Right here. So the Mine Train Express is probably going to go through here in this area right here. I'll have like different tunnels and stuff. But the mine train that this video game has, this Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 has, is not the standard type of mine train that you expect. It's more like this right here. It may be that, or it may be even this. Let me show you. There's a flip. There's a flip. I'm trying to find it. Let's see here. Ah, here it is. It may be just this right here, the wooden wild mine. Now the reason why I'm choosing that because I want to stick to the theme of wood. Wood seems very, very old-like, and I will eventually use steel in this park, but not here, because I want to get that thrill that people feel when they kind of go into these hills and creeks and stuff like that, and whatnot. So that's going to be on there. I haven't really decided a name for it. It may stay as Mine Train Express. I'm not sure. We don't know. We'll just keep guessing. We have this, the Mighty Mo. Again, that's a boat ride, and I've showed you pictures of that during one of the videos. We have Turn of the Century, which is right here. I don't know. I like it. It adds distinction, but I'm not sure where it should go and how it should like branch out and how to get to it, because as you see, it's quite a ways away from any land. And then you have the train depot. Now that's what I was going to tell you about later. When you come around here, okay, this part right here, this open area is going to be the train depot where people get off and people get on and transit to other sub-themes. It's going to be like some kind of in-park transit system. And so we're going to call this the train depot. And again, because it's a Western world, a Western theme, people are going to have this train thing going around. So it's going to be like a Western flared transportation system with theme would be the train, and we focus on the train. And I'm going to tell you something really cool. I'm really liking this because it's giving me an idea to how to examine some of this stuff with you. Okay, keep in mind it's all experimental. It's not. I haven't completed this in my head. I haven't scripted this all to completion. It's just in experimental phase. So as we're doing this, I may put stuff up there, and as I'm doing this and you're watching the video, I may actually take it down and say this isn't going to work. This is a complete utter disappointment. We'll try something else while I'm doing the video. So that's kind of cool about this is that I'm showing you what's in my head. And so and I think that most people should try doing that, because when people kind of do videos and they do the park ahead of time, they show them what they've done. It doesn't give the audience an idea of what was going on in their mind, what would fit, why it didn't fit, because apparently people did all that stuff before they made the park, before they made their video. So, so that's kind of the interesting part about this series I'm trying to convey, is that this is going to be happening while you're watching this, which explains why the steakhouse is half done. Now, let me show you something. These buildings here all light up. They're actually activated buildings. They're in use. You can use them. I will show you. See? They all light up. They're activated. They can be used. They got stalls inside of them, so people can go in there at their whim, and they can use them. I don't want to waste anything in this game that is not usable unless it's some kind of form of decoration. The reason for that is because I feel that these structures that you can build have a purpose in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. It's not just something that you can just build and people walk around them and they're like, it's nice, at least to you anyway. But to the people in the game, they don't feel that way. They have no emotion. They have no reaction. All they have is just what you give them. And so I'm thinking, if you can just use it to their advantage, they actually walk in there, have a seat in this stuff, eat, drink, whatever it may be, it actually puts it to good use. And that's what we're trying to convey right now. I gave the walkways a wider path, and there's a path that goes out here. This will go into the attractions of the mining lumber theme. Now, there is a downside to this, and I have to admit, and you're probably thinking of this too, maybe not. There is some space between all these rides, and that's where I'm really conflicted. Usually in any theme park, they have them kind of close together to some extent, but this isn't. This one isn't one of those going to be sub-themes where it's going to be really, really close together. Because it's central around the park, you have this, which kind of takes up most of the space. This is kind of a ways away from the actual entrance of the sub-beam, which is where the shops and the eateries are going to be at. So I'm thinking what I could do is maybe create another train maybe, or something where people can kind of get on and kind of, like, you know, take them there or something. That way it doesn't have to make them exhausted when they walk there. I mean, I don't know, it's an idea. Again, this is all in my head. I'm not sure what this is about. You have a lot of trees. That's very important too. I wanted to bring this out too. In this sub-theme, trees and decorations of these buildings you see here are very, very, very important. I can't stress enough. And the reason why I'm saying that is because if it's in mine, if it's in hills, if it's in lumber, you have to display that quality. Like, there's a lot of trees, and they're in hills. So when you see hills, you see trees, and you see a lumber yard, there's trees. So I want to convey the fauna and the decoration of buildings that are there to kind of give you the impression that there's life here. There's something going on. And that's pretty much what we're going to work on for the time being. Now, back to the steakhouse. Now, I like this idea because every theme park that you know of, Six Flags, Disney World, Disneyland, has some major restaurant in it. It may not be a major chain that you know of, but they have a real fundamental sit-down, like, extravagant restaurant, like a steakhouse or an Applebee's wannabe or a Red Robin wannabe. And these things do exist. And this is what this is kind of conveying. So here you see all the benches, I'll close up, all the benches where people can kind of sit down. I wish there were tables, but there's not. And there's a place where you order your food and stuff and everything else. So it's kind of like one of those things where you can kind of like sit down, eat, and just kind of enjoy, you know, your meal and stuff. So without further ado, let's get this started. Let's finish this one up. By the way, a little backstory on why I thought this up too, especially right here, is because I was thinking, as I was thinking of all the structures I was building, these two new structures right here are brand new since the time I made the other video. I wanted to tell you there's expansion actually going on, so it's not like it's not slow, it's not happening. It is happening. So let's do this. Normally these buildings will have this kind of design on them. You know, you see this little square thing in there. I wanted to put realism in there, even though you won't see it. It's still there. It still has a conveyance to it, and I like that because that way, if you ever peek inside, you can see the realism behind the tile floors and whatever may be there, and you're not gonna see dirt or grass. So, let's see here. Let's go here to the. Okay, let's start taking these out. Now, again, I keep saying this a lot about Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. There's a downfall to this, and there's just not enough things to work with as far as a variety of things. You have stuff to work with, but it's not a whole mess of them. And I guess that's why people came up with the custom scenery option. But again, I don't work with custom scenery because I don't know how to adapt it to my game very well. I keep getting these errors, and when they do work, it's because there's instructions that come with them, but I'm not a pro. And besides, from what I've seen, the custom scenery, no argument, of course. I mean, people have done a very good job at really delicately designing things. It just has its own flaws, and I'm sure there's probably a reason for that. But enough is said there. I'm just conveying the idea that Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, in its own right, does not have enough to work with. So bear with me as I just use its own scene. Okay, so I already have the walls established. Let's work with the roofing. And how we do that is we use corner roofs first. Okay, I use the letter Z to rotate, as you know. Bring this up. Okay, and then go here to. I'd rather just do them all that way. That way I don't have to keep bouncing around. Okay, like this. Sure, I'll put it there. Oh, wait. Doesn't go there. Let's go here. Okay. So, nope, let's not here. There's another roofing option you can use to fill in those spaces. I'm sure you know what those are. Over here, and then we're done. Okay, so you kind of seen the layout of this building as I've been kind of putting this in, and the reason why I've kind of done this is because there's a corner here, there's a bend in the road. I wanted the building to kind of wrap around that bend and kind of reflect on that, if you will. So now we're going to take this half roof right here, the top one, not the middle one, and we're just going to use that. Okay. And we're going to keep going with this. Now, forgive me if I make mistakes in putting this stuff up. I'm not an expert. I still struggle with aligning the tile, aligning the structure pieces, stuff like that. They don't have Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 on dedication does not have an angle measurement. See right there. See, I have a hard time with that. So you only have 90-degree rotations on each of the objects. So you only have it's kind of hard to kind of really put things in tight places if there are tight places. That's one of the downfalls of this kind of game. And I'm sure if they were going to improve on this game, and I don't know why they didn't. It's a great idea. I'm sure they would have made some updates where you could have done that, or you could have actually been able to do that in itself, but they didn't. And so we're kind of left with this. But it's still a great game. I mean, I'm still playing it. I love playing this game. And the reason for that is because I just like the basics behind the control, the creativity behind it. Anymore, the simulation games that we have out today are very complex. And I'm not saying I'm too simple for them. It's just that I have to learn them in a sense where it just becomes an overkill. And so for me, it's almost like, I like to stick what I know. And eventually I can see, maybe in time, over a period of time, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 will no longer work on PCs because the game is either too old or the hardware is too advanced or something will happen where this game will no longer be adaptable to future computers, like the DOS games that are out before. And so that may be a reality for that. And if it is, that's okay. We'll just have to learn how to play the other games. And I know other people have played other games, and I like to hear your input on them. Just because I like to play this doesn't mean I'm not curious about what's going on. Send me a shoot. Let me know if you play other simulation games, building games, if you will. Let me know how you like it. Suggest which way they are, and I might even be willing to look up and see what kind of how I like it and stuff. Just to let you know, I'm using the control key to match up these flat roofs, if you will. Okay, and then we're done. It's kind of the easiest way to do that. And there, the steakhouse is done. Okay, close that out. Oops. Okay. So, we have the steakhouse finished. So now we're going to take this path right here, here. And so, I'm going to put some lights next to it. I always turn it off. Right then. Sounds a little weird. Here. There. There we go. There we go. We have true vision. And now we're going to do that. Now, most people will put like signs in there, and I think I will. I think I will do that, actually. Sounds so nice to do. Here. Let's put this Why not? Okay, so this is kind of interesting how we're going to do this. I saw this on some video once where some guy did this. Some user actually created two signs. The one of them was the actual sign you walk into. So this will be called, I can't remember what it's called. Let me look it up. That's what's feeling me. I should have wrote it down. I named the stall actually, so let's see. Name the stall. What's it? It's called Texas Steakhouse. And the reason why I call this Texas Steakhouse is because, you know, it's I mean, Durango is in Texas. Why not? Shout out to all those Texans out there. All right. There you go. Perfect. Texas Steakhouse. But watch what I'm going to do with this other one. No entry. Now, the reason why I did that is because I don't want people going into this place and then coming out here or going in here and vice versa. They can only go through here and then come out here. I think, though, I did it wrong. Let me delete that for a minute and see. Yep, I had it right. Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that because you see where it's red? Wherever that part is red or blue, that's where the entry is going to be. So for me, I was right. I just put no entry there. People can't walk in there, you know. So they have to walk out. The only problem with that, though, is they can walk in and out of here, though. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. And then, on top of that, I'm going to put in a porch thing. Like that. Go here. I didn't really discover this automatically, like just a few days ago, but it's kind of nice, actually, to have a thing like this. There, see? Okay, that's the steakhouse. What do you think? Pretty big place. Okay. All right. There you go. We're looking around, seeing what we can do with this. I think what we're going to do with this place right here is we're going to put in, let's see, no, shrubs and other things to kind of give that western feel to it. I mean, we don't have to, but I rather prefer bushes, actually. Because there were some places that didn't have this. This is like Wild West stuff, like desert Wild West stuff. And, you know, it's kind of giving that feel, but you have this green grass. Doesn't seem so realistic. Let me think what you think. Let me know. Would you prefer this, or would you prefer bushes and flowers? Send me a comment and let me know what you think. You want a wheatgrass? Okay. Okay. And we're just going to keep going with this all the way around. Oh. That kind of fixed the tone. That's so funny. Right. Keep going here all the way around, and as I said before, like on the onset of this video, these things are very important because apparently there's a strategy guide that was made for this game, and they were saying the people who made this game, who researched this, mentioned that plants and scenery actually draw people, or peeps, I call people, to this. It draws them to this. It's like a emotional entrapment for them, so they just kind of go there, and that's why they kind of suggest that you plant scenery around your rides or whatever, which is why I had that roller coaster planted with all that kind of stuff, especially trees. Okay. All right, now we're gonna move on to the next one. So remember, we're gonna make this gap here, and I think what I'm gonna do, just for purposes to kind of reflect on that, I'm gonna put a fencing around this, just so that way I know that this is for a transit system. And I will show you later what train I'm going to use for that system. Oops. It's kind of tight, but we'll figure it out. Alright, so this is where the transit system is going to go. At least approximately, anyway. Okay? Alright, so we kind of bordered that off a little bit, so we have an idea. It may not be as tight to this, because this is pretty close to the walls of the steakhouse. So we may just kind of lighten it up a little bit here, or whatever. But we don't want to go past this. And the reason why I say is because this is in front of the Colebrook Canyon. Now this, I don't know. This is a very large structure that, because it houses steps and platforms for people can get on the ride. So I may just leave it the way it is. If you feel it, if you like something different, if you think something different should be there, like maybe you know, if it should look different, let me know. Give me an idea. Okay. All right. So let's see. And this can continue building buildings here. So, and this is all going to be just shops on this pathway here. Nothing more. Pathway is going to have nothing but shops and transportation. Okay. All right. So let's see here. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if raccoon hats would be considered a Western thing. I mean, it could be. Fur trader. Okay, I got it. All right, cool, awesome. I just thought of something. So the reason why I said fur trader is because even during the days of lumber and mining, fur traders would come along and help out with those concepts. So I thought maybe we have like a fur trade shop where you can actually buy raccoon huts. I know it sounds crazy, but it's kind of cute actually. When you think about it, it's like actually fits in with the whole scheme of things when you think about it. So let's do that. Let's do it. So go back here, and we'll take that up, put that down there. Okay. Go. So let's see here. Move on here, swing around. And I'm sorry for the fast movement. It's just that's how it rolls in this game, I guess. There we go. Make like a trading post. That makes sense. Adds up to the flare up thing. Okay. And you don't need it very big, I mean, obviously. Because it's just a shop. Okay. Alright, so here we are. I'm using shift to raise it up one above the one on the bottom. As you can see, it's red. Shift turns to blue, place on top, you click left click. One of the tricks I've learned. And you can find all kinds of different tricks of the trade with this game, keyboard shortcuts and stuff. If you look online, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 tricks, and you'll find them. Users from all over the world have come up with all kinds of neat things that you can do with this thing. Renaming people, adds different tricks to the thing, makes the game act differently. Kind of cool. Okay. Dylan, what do you think? I know it sounds simple. And it's really all I want. I don't want to see anything complex. Okay. Now before we close this off with the roof and whatnot, close this out. Go here. Now I have to do something. Alright. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to take this marble path again. And we're going to treat it like a little fur trade store. Multiple stalls in here. And since there's not much paths in this building, we're going to create a scenic lighting scheme rather than a pathway. Makes sense? Because there's more room for it. There you go. See if that actually works. And it does. A little dark up here though. It does. Okay. So while we're here, we're going to start adding stalls. So I think this will be the raccoon hat. And not just raccoon hats, there could be all kinds of stuff here too. So let's say that. That raccoon hat. Trader Sam's is what it's going to be called. So funny. And on this end, here, and we're going to go up here and see if we can find anything. Why not? There's already a Western hat in here, but we're going to do this. Actually, we're going to call it Cowboy. Okay. And then we'll go back over here. Here. There you go. And that's it. Now we can only imagine that the people can walk around and look at stuff, but you know, it would be kind of cool if they could, but that's kind of what this thing is about. So now we go back to here. Okay, and we go back to here, bring that down, roofing, you know the drill. And we're bringing this back up. Roofing, corner roof. So as time goes on, and more of these buildings will be made, you'll start to see how this has an impact on how the park it runs when people start buying stuff from these places. You'll see the actual balance behind it all work. Okay, let me do this again. Now, I've never been to a Western theme amusement park, honestly. So I really have no idea what they're like. The picture I've seen, though, pretty interesting. So I'm only going the seat of my pants when it comes to building this thing up. I really don't know if there's any real park like this, honestly. But I guess in time I'll find something that will be close to it, maybe. Okay. Sealed, signed, and delivered. There we go. And now we're going to add a porch to this. So nice. There. Awesome. Now some of these don't have porch things on it, and that's okay. We don't want to add them all. It would make it too, like, obvious. So only maybe 2.5 buildings have it. I think 2.5, but you know what I mean. So now we're going to add this walkway. Very good. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and add up. No. Go. Okay, perfect. And I think we got time. I think we got enough room for one more. Not sure. I'm not sure. Let me see. We do have to extend this out, which I'm going to do. Okay. Oops. My bad. So I think I might make a corner store. I might. I'm not sure. Um, yeah. No, I won't. There. That allows me to add more stores, like on this end and on this end. This end not so much, but definitely on this end right here. And this will be a corner store like this. It won't be this way or that way. Because there's enough ample enough room here to create large enough structure where people can buy stuff. So this here, not so much. Um, and again, you're probably wondering, why am I concealing this coaster from people? Well, and the reason for that is because I want to even give the people who are playing this game, if I ever decide to upload it somewhere, the idea that the peeps on the game have no idea what this coaster is like when they see it with their own eyes. They have no clue. And that's going to reflect on that when you walk around this hillside here. Now, for right now, you can kind of get an idea, but when you pull it down like this, down to their level, and this thin distance away, they don't really quite see it. They really don't know. They don't really notice it much. Maybe things like this here, or like on the edge stuff, maybe, but nothing to the point where they notice it, and it has no impact on them. That's not the point. The point is you want to add some realism to this venture, this kind of like this 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 park. And I don't know if they do that in real life or not. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure they do. But in my game, we're going to do this. We're going to kind of give that the idea that they can't see past these buildings, and when they go into this structure right here to line up to get on this coaster, all they see is what's in front of them, and they take off, they go around, up, and then they go into the canyon, and then when they come out, they have no idea where they were. And so, because they can't really follow it on the ground. So, quite a concept I'm kind of creating here, and we'll go with that in a minute. But for right now, let's start a new building. Let's see here. I'm going to place this building here first. Lay the foundation, if you will. Let's see. Now, kind of a big area, if you ask me, for oh. Okay. Good. I don't know how. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. Oh. That's not work. Nope. It's too small. Right. There we go. Let's put a barn door here. There we go. And I don't know why I did that. I mean, I guess it gives that feel that it's an emergency exit or something. Okay. And again, we'll do this again. Up. let's keep doing this. The textures in Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 are not bad. They're quite excellent, actually, for a game like this. And as old as it is, it's quite kind of nice. I like it. When it came, when I not when it came out, but when I first got it a number of years ago, back in I think 2005, 6, I don't remember. I think it was 2006. I started playing it and I realized that the textures on this wood and on the ground and stuff were pretty cool for the game of its time. Of course, back then I had a cheap, or not cheap, low-grade gaming computer, so it didn't work well on it. It kept burning out. But over time, I got better PCs. I currently have an HP Entertainment PC that's I've had for a number of years, and this works much better. On the lowest grade graphics card that I have on here, I have dual graphics. So I have 512 megabytes of integrated graphics and 1 gig dedicated. Okay, I'm using the 512, and it hasn't really burned anything up on this PC. There's no real reason to use a high graphics card on this. If you were to like buy this game, and you're thinking, I better get a octa-core processor, you're wasting your money on a PC, because this game does not require a lot of processing speed. Now, if you want to kind of like do really heavy video editing on this. See, I'm doing editing now, but it's not really high tech. I'm just doing the basics. If you were going to do some really cool stuff with it, then I would suggest going to a higher-end graphics card. I would increase your processing speed, or your type of processor. And I know that processing speeds now are much higher than what this computer is, as far as gigahertz are concerned. But again, this game before, when it came out, it wasn't like an issue. It wasn't like an issue it is now. Back then it may have been, but not today. So you're pretty safe. If you can go online and buy a relatively mid-grain entertainment PC from Dell or HP or anybody else, Acer, whatever, you're going to be pretty safe. This game is compatible with those games. They're compatible with Windows 7, 8, and 10, 8.1 and 10. So it's upgradable to every known operating system past Windows 2000. So even if you're running Windows XP, if you are, then you can still work. And Vista and all that kind of stuff. So this is pretty much a great game. Pretty much great game. I'm not sure about Mac, though. And I'm saying that because I know somebody's going to be asking me this one day. Like, what about Macintosh? What about, what is that like? I have never had a Mac in my life, and I probably never will. And that's a whole new discussion later. But the thing is that I am not sure how this game works on Mac. I know they have a Mac version, but I'm not sure how people liked it on that iOS operating system. I just know about Windows. So I guess people will find out if they get a Mac system, if this works, and you'll have to let us know how it works, if it does or not, and what you're thinking on it. Oh wait, I messed up. I'm talking away. Listen to me. I meant to put in some stuff. Yes, that would be kind of dumb, wouldn't it? So we're gonna go back here. Pay attention. Quite sure what I want for this to be. Let's see. Here, there's already stuff there. Let's put a food stall here. And we don't have to have Western, as you know. Okay. Alright. I'm trying to think of a good lemonade stand that serves slushes, ice drinks, And frozen lemonade, I can't remember. I wouldn't know what to name this. But let's call it. I don't know why I'm doing this. Don't know why. It's the best I can do right now. And it is funny. You can laugh. I don't care. It's alright. So anyway, sure, let's see. Right. Right. Oh. Now we can put a roof on it. Well, not quite. There we go. Oh, one more thing. Awesome. Alright. So, now we're going to put a roof on. Finally. I get that way sometimes. I get distracted. I think we all do. And I'm sorry this is so monotonous. Building structures like this are very monotonous in this game. My suggestion, which I did not do, but I wasn't sure how this was going to play out, but if you know what your park's going to do, or where or how you want them to look, there is a structure building part of this game where you can actually pre-build your structures and save them, and it saves you a lot of time and work when it comes to building them. Now in this case, mine are going to probably most likely may not repeat themselves as far as design is concerned. I could be wrong, and if that's going to be the case, I can just copy them from here. I think I haven't done that in a while, but we'll see. I know that I just tried it, and it was much easier than, you know. Then oh, sorry about that, guys. It's not me. It's just sometimes at an angle like this, it's just kind of you miss sight of it. And now we're going to work on this. The end of the street, the road, I guess. Now, the roofing I just used here, this little panel, you can do all kinds of things. You don't have to use them as a roof. I mean, it's what it's designed for, but you can use them as floor layouts. The only problem with that, though, is that these lights you see here can't be used on them. And we'll work on those in a minute. They kind of look out of sync, actually. I'm not too proud of that, I suppose. Let's see. Now, remember, I told you this would be a corner layout, so let's make it that way. Do some of these trees. And that. All right, cool. Very good. All right. Now this thing go around and out. And again, you can't see that track from ground level. And if you look at this at an angle, I'm just going to see what this is like. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's see here. And what's so cool about me building structures here is that when you ride this coaster, you see them as you cross by. So it's kind of like a little town that you're just leaving. Kind of escaping from. Like this could be a little mining town, if you will. And that you're going on this some sort of there you go. Oh, you know what? There's no windows. I like windows, so I gotta have them in my game. I guess we'll put 2 here. There you go. Okay. And then maybe a few in the back here. Now I know I'm running out of ideas. As you can tell, Mr. Lemonade was a dump. I'm sure I can come up with a better name later. I probably will. Yeah, I probably will. But I probably will come up with something later. I have to. That sounds so cheesy. But that's okay. You know, creativity does not have to have boundaries when it comes to complexity, from what I understand. I mean, and I'm not saying that meaning like, you know, it has to be complex. There are some people out there who just come up with these simple things and it actually works. People may think, hey, you know, I'm going to come up with black and white, and it takes off. I like to be very highly sophisticated with my names, only because it fits the circumstances I'm in. And that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to impress anybody by saying, well, it's a really good name, you know, or something like that. I'm just saying that because, you know, I don't want it to be lackluster, if you know what I'm saying. I don't want it to be something that it just sounds way too simple for what it needs to be. That's kind of how my thinking is and stuff. And each their own. I'm not saying you have to be that way. We're not endorsing perfection here. Nobody has to do that. No one's comparing or criticizing. I'm just making a note. Alright, so that turned out nice, actually. That's nice. I like it. So now, I guess it could have gone out a little further this way, one by one more, but I'll put trees in to kind of cover it up. Alright, now we're going to go into paths again. Now there is a guy, I don't know what his name is, but there is a guy that made a mall in this game. It's pretty cool, and I thought about doing that, like combining these shelves together into a single place. He had upper deck and a lower deck, and that's pretty awesome when you think about, you know, what you can achieve with that. I thought about doing that, like creating little inward doors going inside this or something. But the way this is structured, the way it's kind of laid out, it'd be kind of complicated. And you probably could do it, but you got this ride here, roller coaster, be kind of, I don't know. I wouldn't want to do it. Not yet, anyway. Someday I might. Let's see. Let's go through the food. Burgers. We already have a steakhouse. Here. Oh, here we go. Oh, no. I don't like those shapes. That's one thing about. I'm sorry to say this. I don't mean to knock it or anything. Please forgive me. But there's just one thing about roller coaster I just don't know about, and they use these really funky stalls for food, and it's not like you know. I don't know. It's just I like these little generic stalls. They actually do look like order counters, and like you go to a fast food restaurant or a place to order something. This looks real. Maybe if you wanted to be really, parky, I suppose without this, doesn't work okay. But I can't find that. And we'll call this something. Yeah, I don't know why they do that, but that's okay. I've seen people use them and they actually work out. I guess it's the type of park you're making and how you like it. Let's see, Western. No, I got an idea. Angus. For now. And why not? I mean, there's not really Angus burgers in there. But you can say there is. Of course, they'd be a little more expensive too if they were. Alright, now this is a restaurant, so we have to put in benches. Let's do that. Wait a minute. There we go. And this is not a real sophisticated restaurant. Like, there's a lot of people going to come in here and eat. Not like that. But do. Alright, cool. Okay. Alright, awesome. That's done. That is finished. Let's do this. Okay. I'm just thinking of something silly right now about this. Like, you know what? The reason why I'm laughing is because I have seen in the last couple years how much more sophisticated games are. And here, I'm making a video of a classic game that I don't think will ever come out on Xbox. It's kind of funny. I was at a GameStop about a month ago, and I went in there. Oh, come on, get rid of that. I'll fix it. I went in there and asked them, hey, do you guys know if Xbox has Roller Coaster Tycoon 3? Now, the guy who works at GameStop knew exactly what I was talking about. He was aware of it. And so, therefore, it wasn't like didn't know anything about it. It's just that he wasn't sure if they would. And so, it got me to thinking, are they even going to make anything else for other platforms like PlayStation and all that? And the answer is probably not, because there are so many other sophisticated games out there that people play. that it's kind of see to see this game on its way, at least handed its hat in some sense. And it's sad. It's kind of sad. I know they've come out with newer games, like the third installment of this, and plus with the fourth installment, which is called Roller Coaster Tycoon World, which I have no idea what that's about and how the ratings are on that. There's also something else out there that's highly more sophisticated than this, and I can't remember what it's called. And the reason why I don't have those games is because my PC won't run them. At least it won't be compatible enough for as far as processor and video RAM is concerned. So I would have to necessarily really buy a whole new outfit. But I'm almost thinking that when I'm building this, I'm thinking, is someone going to sit there and say, what, haven't you, like, you're still playing this? You know, and that's kind of funny because I don't know. I don't know. I really honestly thought that, I think that people kind of move on with stuff, and for me to be playing this alone, it's just funny. I laugh at myself for that. And you may not think it's funny. I guess there's a lot of people out there who might actually do this. It's like that same thing where you someone looks at the stars and someone else looking back, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know. We'll see. I just like this game so much because it's so simple, so straight and simple, and that's okay, you know. So now I'm gonna add some trees. Oh wait, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? Stop talking. Listen to me. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I have the worst case of ADHD right now. I swear. Worst case. Let's see. Let's cover this thing up. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Oh, too high. Okay. Yeah, this fits perfectly in the scheme of things, I'll tell you. It's kind of nice. I like it. So, well, I was thinking too, when I mess up like that, when I like get distracted, and I start talking and I miss the point of where I'm at, the reference, and I start doing other things. It reminds me of, like, when I catch myself, that nun in Sister Act, where she's like telling that one lady that's sent there to be in hiding. They're all sitting around a table and they're all eating and they're all supposed to like keep their mouth shut, and she's the only one gabbing. And so over a period of time during that whole conversation, this nun's like, shut up. And so finally at the very end, she goes, silence begins now. And I'm thinking, that's kind of what's going on in my head right now. Silence begins now. Pay attention. And I am so sorry. It's just that, you know, I laugh at myself a lot when I do that because I used to see. I hear a lot of people have issues with that, you know, and it's a real issue for people that just can't stay on task and stuff. And so I see a lot of people do that and they laugh. And I'm thinking, why are you laughing? And so they say, well, what else are you going to do? I mean, you can't be mad at yourself. You can't control it sometimes. So I've learned how to be very comical about it and how to associate that with other things. And that, you know, it's kind of rather interesting that I lose track of time, I lose track of concentration like that, you know, and it's quite great. I love it. So, but you can tell I'm not used to doing long videos like this. I'm not, honestly. Yeah, it shows because I just don't do it. And this is the longest video I've done ever. So when I do this, I kind of lose concentration, which kind of makes me thinking, you know, maybe I should keep it short, perhaps. But we'll see. Oh. If you can't laugh at yourself, who can laugh at you? Crazy. Okay, we're done. We're finished making structures. Finally. Going crazy there for a minute. Awesome. What do you think of that? Let me know what you think. They're actually fully functional structures. You can walk in there. Peeps can walk in there. On and on and on. So what I want to do next, and I may not do this right now. I'll come back and make another video. Of actually creating like scenic looks on these things. Like I've done up in front of this stuff here, these other buildings. I may put in bushes and trees like here and fill them in. I don't want to do that now. I spent a lot of time building these buildings, and I've kind of caught you up on what I'm thinking. But again, in review, this whole area is going to be nothing but mining and lumber. And now we got the whole town made up, if you will, if you want to call it that. It's kind of cool, actually. And this is going to be, again, the transport train. We're going to start focusing on making these structures beautiful, beautifying them, adding more trees behind them, that kind of stuff. And then later on, we'll start adding the rides and stuff, and we'll talk about that later. In the meantime, you know, please subscribe. You know, I know this is an old game. I know this is probably monotonous for you, but it's not really about the game. It's not really about, you know, what's really happening. It's about the creativity and the art behind it. And so that's what I'm seeing. And if you guys have anything that you've done in this game and you want to share with me or with others, you know, feel free to talk about it. You know, discuss it in the comments below. I am very interested to see in comparison how this all looks in the scheme of things. And your ideas may inspire me. My ideas may inspire you. You just never know. You never know. This video may even help you just rediscover this game. You may go back to it or not. Depends. But if and when you do, let me know what your experiences are, all right? All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.